Hi, my name is Mackenzie Russell, and I decided to do my crisis plan on the school that I went to from elementary school all the way up until high school graduation. It's called Trinity School of Durham and Chapel Hill, and it is located in Durham, North Carolina. Um, so, for my crisis plan, I wanted to ensure that the plan was implemented correctly and that they practiced it on a regular basis. So I decided that they would run drills of various disaster events and crises once every 3 months during the school year. And those dates would be August 6th, November 6th, February 6th, and May 6th of every single year. And so with a crisis, Trinity School's main purpose is to strive to be honest and forthcoming, and then also seen as acting correctly for a Christ-centered establishment in the eyes of the public and the media, but also in the eyes of the parents of all of the students who are attending Trinity School on a regular basis and whose parents entrust the lives of those children to the school. And then also, I wanted to make a list of all of the various key publics. So, the enabling public would be the Board of Directors, the Board of Trustees, the Durham County, Orange County police departments, as well as the Durham County Fire Department, and then all senior faculty involved in the school. And then in terms of functional publics, I wanted to include teachers, staff, security personnel, and parents. And then the normative staff would be all of the churches in the area, including Chapel Hill Bible Church, New Hope Church, Church of the Good Shepherd, and Blacknall Presbyterian, as well as various schools that are in the community circle of Trinity School, which include other religious schools and private schools, such as Durham Academy, Carolina Friends, Ravenscroft, Triangle Day, and St. Mary's. And then the diffused publics in this situation would be like all of the news stations, local news like ABC 11 and WRIL. And then also the surrounding neighborhoods to the school, because the school is settled in between two neighborhoods, and that is the community of Hope Creek and then also the community of Garrett Farms. So in terms of notifying publics, the headmaster, Chip Denton, would be the first to be notified of any crisis situation. Following that, Mason Goss, who's the assistant head of school, would be notified by Warren Gould, who is the director of the upper school. He would then notify the middle school director and the lower school director, and then once all of them, the vital staff, are updated and appraised of the situation, then Holly Broughton, who's the director of marketing and communications, and the associate director of communications, Lynn Hand, would be appraised of the crisis situation, and then they would be put out to address the crisis via the school's Facebook page, Twitter account, the school website, and then also forwarding out emails to the parent list, making sure that everybody knows what's going on and has the most up-to-date and accurate information. So in terms of the crisis communications team, the head of the team should be Mason Goss. He is the assistant head of school, and so he is well qualified to lead up the task force. However, he's not the top man in charge, and so he's kind of able to take over the crisis communication team while the headmaster is handling more important things. And then Holly Broughton will also be part of the crisis team because she is the director of marketing and communications for the school, and so she would know how to handle anything dealing with the media and parents and like concerns and complaints and things like that. And then in the crisis communications team, Lynn Hand will be sitting in to field all incoming phone calls that pertain to the crisis. And then the assistant to the upper school director Virginia Gist will fall into the crisis communication team, and she will help to create and send communication with the parents. So in terms of the list of emergency personnel and school officials, I wanted to include the Durham Police Department, the City of Durham Fire Department, as well as the UNC Hospital's Emergency Unit, and then the Charlotte, North Carolina FBI Field Office. I also wanted to include all of the names of the pastors at the local churches so that they could come and respond and be a part of the community as a comforting source, as they have in past situations. I also, for the list of key medias, I wanted to include ABC 11, WTVD, WRAL News, Chapel Hill News and Observer, the Herald Sun, and then Fox 8. So in the event of a crisis, the Crisis Communication Control Center will be located directly on the school grounds. So the school will convene in the modular buildings that rest to the left of the upper school building and to the right of the gymnasium. This is where all of the faculty offices are, and it's a separate area from students, so as to prevent further chaos by having students over here and kind of having like their own separate space to interact with each other and plan what they're going to do next. In the event of severe damage to the school, or if the previous location is uninhabitable, the school will convene instead at Church of the Good Shepherd in the main auditorium, which is the closest church located to the school, and it's a safe area far enough away that they could deal with the crisis there. And I also included information for Church of the Good Shepherd and the head pastor there. So in terms of equipment and supplies that you might need in any crisis situations for the school, I chose to include 2 flashlights, backup food storage for each school building, sleeping bags for students, disposable cell phones in case phone lines in the building go out, a backup laptop to store all crisis and security information, as well as enough water for 3 days, and then sets of walkie-talkies in case of phone line destruction, and backup fans for each classroom in case of power loss, and then also heat generators for that same purpose. So in terms of some key messages that I wanted to put into my crisis communication plan, I wrote a couple down for you. So one of them would be, we are working to keep you all updated as quickly as possible. Thank you for your patience. Second would be, Trinity School is currently dealing with an internal situation and are working to field all messages and concerns you may have. And then a third key message that I included was, may God be with us during this time of uncertainty. Trinity School is working to remedy the current situation and hopes to be back online and secured as soon as possible. So in terms of the message for the website that I created, I wrote that at this time, Trinity School is experiencing a crisis. We ask that while we are trying to work through this difficult time, you maintain patience with our community. We humbly request prayer to help guide our team through this trying time, and we ask that you come together as part of the Trinity School community to help aid us. As a community, we have a deep connection and love for one another. Although we are facing uncertain times, Trinity School will proceed with a united front as a family in hopes of overcoming what lies ahead. I included at the bottom of the crisis plan a list of blogs and social media that are going to be relevant to any sort of communications, and that includes the websites for the news outlets, WRAL again, and ABC 11, as well as the local newspapers, and then Trinity's website itself, trinityschoolnc.org, and then another popular news team, which is Indy Weekly. And that's a very popular magazine and news outlet in the Durham area, and so that's important to have. And yeah, that's all I have for that. So thank you for listening, and have a good